Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. Sounds like we've got some very adventurous birds out in the yard, so if you hear the birds going crazy, they it's almost sunset here, so they're deciding it's time to go home. Alright, so we're going to do our weekly reading. I'm going to be using the Earth Wisdom Oracle today, just for something different. And I'm going to say what kind of messages does Spirit have for us, because some of us been having a rather weird week. I don't know if you guys have had the same thing. Just weird occurrences happening. Some people's energy is really off. If you're feeling a bit clumsy, you need to, center yourself, breathe, and get yourself to a place where you're feeling a bit more centered, and it'll center your physical body as well. And so you don't find yourself, with little cuts and grazes and bumping into stuff, that kind of thing. Because some people, Mercury retrograde has not been as kind to some as it has to others. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll ask Spirit what the messages are for this week so far. What I'm also going to do is just point out to you that this deck has got associations for herbs and precious stones as well. So when the card comes up, it'll give you an association with a plant or a herb. Not all of them are medicinal and can be taken internally. Please do some research first. Some of them can just be burnt, some of them you just can put in your home, and then the others are crystals or precious stones that you can use for this particular application, whatever comes up. All right. So let's see. I'm going to say, Spirit, what do we need right now? Okay, that's it. I'm going to say, what do we need right now? Because I think a lot of people need guidance, something to help them get through the week, to get through the retrograde, whatever is you feel is affecting you, whatever you believe. You don't have to use crystals and herbs. Okay, divine light. All right, I feel a lot of us are coming out of a struggle here, and when I say us, I don't necessarily mean that I've had the same thing, but a lot of people are coming out of a kind of a struggle. So if you can imagine this person walking through, like, coming out of a forest or something like that, they are changing what they know or where they've been or how they've been living their lives. And I see this person walking into a completely different lifestyle and maybe just a different way of doing things. And this is a very sacred place. It's like a spiritual step up or spiritual evolution or yeah, spiritual evolution. And moving into a place where they don't know what's coming, they don't know what to expect, but it's a very safe place and it's a very powerful place to be. And they're leaving a lot of things behind, maybe even things that they've invested a lot of time and effort into, maybe years into, that was their inspiration or that they felt served them at that time. And they're starting to recognize cycles of things moving on and saying, okay, I'm seeing this in the picture, okay? Kind of like, okay, this was one thing that served me, this was inspiration for me at some point, but now this has served me and it's time to move on. Then as I went along the path, I found something else that served me that was helpful. It's now served its purpose. It's time to move on. And this person has now gone through certain stages of something that had a bigger picture. Okay. This is what I'm seeing with this card. This is a very important message, and I think a lot of you are going through this, and the message here is that you're going through a transition. Don't panic, don't overthink it. Just allow and just walk towards that light, even if you don't know what it is. Follow what is true for you and what is meaningful for you, and trust that. All right, let's quickly see what the book says. It may have nothing to do with what I've just said, but I also want to give you the reference for the stone or the plant reference, and it also gives an affirmation at the end. Okay. This is very, this is ironic. I've just begun to use St. John's wort for some of my family members this week, and the plant is for St. John's wort. Okay, St. John's wort alleviates depression, it soothes shock and trauma, and it elevates your mood. So if you've ever used something like Rescue Remedy tincture, like the drops, homeopathic drops, it's a similar thing, and St. John's wort is fantastic for stress anxiety, trauma, all of those kind of things. So if you're really strung out, this is what you need, especially at this time. All right, the stone that's associated with it is sunstone, and it says here sunstone contains the cleansing, healing power of the sun and shares it with those who ask. So if you need cleansing and healing, maybe you should invest in a sunstone and see how that works for you. The write up says here whether you are feeling blue or suffering from more serious conditions, you can support your healing by turning to the divine light and nourishing your own inner divinity. When we don't feel well, it's easy for our inner light to fade. Get the attention that you need, whether medical, psychological, or spiritual, while supplementing with big doses of bright divine light. And the affirmation says, my inner divine light wants to shine in the world. I give my light energy and brilliance by connecting with the greater divine energy that nourishes all of life. Okay, I think we've got time for one more card here. What else do we need today, please? What do we need right now? I'm not going to take those two. Only one, please. I only have time for one. And I prefer it if it's just one, and there it flies. Creativity. Okay, this is what I was talking about with the inspiration as well. I feel like this is something that is something that you're following your heart with, something that is your purpose, or that you didn't know you could do before, or you've always wanted to do and you never have because all of these other things came up and you dedicated your life and a lot of time to that maybe. But here it's your creativity, it's you connecting with your true self, with this divinity that it's talking about. Grounding yourself as well. She's lying there amongst the earth, amongst the plants. This is a sign of healing as well, this like triquetra kind of sign. It's being connected to spirit. And she just looks so content. I always associate the color green with healing as well. And this is about creativity. This is about allowing the earth and spirit to inspire you and getting your inspiration and connecting with your creativity. If you are creative in whatever way, if you sing, you dance, you draw, you paint, you make jewelry, you teach workshops to kids, whatever it is that you do that's creative, you need to tap into that right now. No matter what it is. Okay, if you go and do woodwork, creativity is encompasses a lot of things. Tap into that right now, because this is what connects you to your spiritual side as well. Creativity uses the parts of your brain that connect you to that. It's not just all work, 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 and logic and reason and all of these things that we apply all the time. This creativity opens other parts of your psyche, other parts of your spirituality. So tap into that now. Okay. Let me quickly read for you guys. So the plant here is Lady's Mantle. It says Lady's Mantle enhances fertility, feminine healing, and a connection to the divine feminine. Remember, divine feminine doesn't always just need to be feminine energy either. Okay, it's just about that yin-yang balance. We all have divine masculine and feminine energy within us. The stone is cornelian, which promotes creativity and fertility. Cornelian is exceptionally grounding as well. It's fantastic to use if you're feeling a bit up in the air. Creativity is not just something that's nice to have in your life. It is your birthright, and it's also one of the most basic drives in human beings. Sadly, our culture does not value creativity and views it as an indulgent pastime. Heal your creative self by falling into the arms of the divine feminine. Your affirmation is, I am a creative being and actively feed my creative self through the arts and through nature. I express my creative being with passion and confidence. Okay, guys, so you will know what that means. I hope that you have a beautiful week further. I'm running out of time as usual, but I will chat to you guys soon. Have an excellent week. We'll chat again on Friday. Take care. Bye.